my last video, we discussed how to make friends to play D&D with you. Now, we must come to the third step. It is not the final step yet, though. We must be able to understand the player's handbook. Now, there are a few key things to understanding this player's handbook right here. First, you must know how to read. Now, I assume that most of you do know how to read, or have a basic understanding of reading. If you're one of those people that actually can't read, or have trouble reading, maybe it's just really hard for you to concentrate and you just get really confused with things. Well, this is the video for you. If you're one of those people that can read, why are you watching this video? How lazy are you to not read the freaking intro to this book? It's so simple. You just have to freaking make a character, and making a character is really simple, especially in 5th edition. Especially in 5th edition. In 2nd edition, that's probably when you're gonna need to get help, because it gets kind of complicated until you get used to it. But if you are actually having a hard time understanding it, even if you have read it, here's a video for people that don't understand the player's handbook as much. On the first page, it's step-by-step character creation right there. And the first step is choose your race. It's right there. Now, there are many races you can choose. You can choose like elves, dwarfs, humans, gnomes, dragonborns. And to really understand what they are, I suggest reading about them or looking them up more, you know? If you already have your race, that's great, you know? Now, you gotta choose your class. Now, what class are you gonna choose? Well, do you like being sneaky and stealing things for a living? And you could be a thief. Or otherwise known as a rogue. Another thing that you could do is you can be a bard. Bards have a bad reputation of seducing everything, but really they're not the seducing type all the time, you know? They're entertainers. Think actors, think singers, think musicians. Think Beethoven. Beethoven was a bard. Think Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain was a bard. Writers, think writers. Writers are bards too. Novelists, anyone with an entertainment background is a bard. YouTubers are bards. There are so many classes to choose from. I suggest going through each one in the book and just taking your time getting to understand it, unless you already know what you want to be, which that's great. Step 3 is determining your ability scores. Now, sometimes these can be hard for people. How to determine your ability scores, the way I do it, is I take 4d6, I roll them all, and I take off the lowest number, and that is going to be one of my ability scores. That can either be strength, constitution, whatever I choose. Step 4 is to describe your character. Now, this is one of the easiest and hardest parts of it all. It does not involve math, so if you actually do have a problem with math, then, well, ability scores is probably your problem. But describing your character is just, don't make like a giant list of things. Don't make a giant list of things that your character has done or will ever do. Don't write like 20 pages of your backstory. Write a paragraph. Write a paragraph or two. Just that. And that's where you'll start. Especially at level 1. Don't write a lot. The whole point of making a new character, especially at level 1, is to go through that character progression, seeing what they are at level 1, and then seeing what they are at level 10. And it will be so different. Maybe your character learns some things. Maybe he's not a germaphobe anymore, or maybe you are a bard and you always seduce things, but then you realize seducing things doesn't solve everything. Step 5 is choose your equipment. you have to roll up how much money you have based on what class you are, and after that you decide what best equipment should I get based on my funds, based on who my character is, and what class and race he is. Sometimes your DM will actually give you stuff like most of the time it's just they give you generic clothes. Sometimes I guess they don't, but I've never been in a situation where I was naked and I had to buy things before I created my character. But, you know, everyone's different with their DM style. Step 6 is come together. Play D&D. Find at least 3 people. 3 people at minimum. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. This is probably the most helpful video I've made so far out of my 3-part series so far. But people actually have legitimate questions about this kind of stuff, and I kind of wanted to get it out of the way before I did more stupid comedy videos. And as always, stay safe, keep rolling those dice. Bye-bye!